it's a bit off topic, but I was just thinking as you were speaking, hearing the filibuster, and I'm thinking about your election system and how, North Carolina will have this many congressmen and California will have this many and the disproportionate representation. It sounds really weird, but when I speak often to more so conservative Americans, they go, "We're the greatest country in the world." And my response to that is normally just, what's the metric you use to measure that? I'm not challenging the same, but what's the metric you use to say that? Because I reckon if someone wrote a novel today and the novel was based on the rules and the society that America provides, I wonder if it would be very believable. Like, I'm thinking about the filibuster. I'm thinking about what happens with guns over there. I'm thinking about, how you elect your president. I'm thinking about health. Shit, bro. We read an email out from someone the other day where someone says they pay $24,000 a year for their health insurance in America. I have health insurance, but that's because I choose to. I pay about $150 a month. I've never used it, because we have a free public health system here. And in New Zealand, it's not perfect. People with cancer sometimes take longer to get it than if they could afford to pay for it, but they get it. And if it's an emergency, you're straight in there and there's no bill, and we don't pay to have babies. And honestly, I was just thinking literally as I sit here, I wonder if someone wrote this dystopian novel and it had all the rules within American society, if it would be a believable novel. Like if they had written that 100 years ago, or if it'd be like, nah, you're never going to see a country like that. That makes no sense.
Well, is it fiction? If it was a fiction, like a science fiction dystopic, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just, absolutely nuts. I mean, and frankly, a lot of it has to do with the tremendous wealth disparity we have and the outsized power that money has in our society. And, the Senate in our Constitution originally, the House is more representative, right? Because it is a specific window of people that you represent. Theoretically, there should be a lot more House members, right? It grew over time, but stopped growing about 110 years ago.
Oh, real.
And our population has added 150 million people, 250 million people since then.
Yeah.
And so we're stuck at 435. The Senate was originally voted on by state lawmakers. There wasn't even a direct vote for the Senate. And then we had a constitutional amendment that allowed for direct voting of the Senate. But there are two senators from California, tens of millions of people represented by two people, and two senators from, pick a small state, Wyoming, which I think has like 700,000 people. And they have equal weight as to Wyoming has 2 votes. California has 2 votes. That's completely messed up. The filibuster is not even statutory. The filibuster is just like a tradition that is there, again, to make sure that the Senate really doesn't do anything. And it's been used by the right far more than the nominal left in this country, because, cutting taxes is really basically their policy, and they don't have anything after that.
Yeah, look, it's very clear to me, especially here in New Zealand, that the left make policy and the right respond to policy. And I think that's pretty clear. Our right here has nothing original. In fact, they are literally going back to stuff that has been done and failed in the past before. I just want to say as well, because I just realized what I just said about your beloved country. No offense intended. I was just thinking out loud. It was about what I just said about, the American novel. I know it's the country you live in and born in and given you what you've given. So no offense intended. However, I do think as well, it's probably a time we could quickly talk about Zoran Mamdani, because maybe the philosophies and ideologies of people like him would be the counter to what I just said about the dystopian novel.